Hi, welcome to Elocución en Inglés. This is the second part of organizing and outlining your speech. In part number one, we talk mainly about how to organize your main points, main ideas, how to collect information. Right now, we are going to go over the second part, that is outlining, means how to graphically put your ideas, components of your speech. For this class, we have the following objective to prepare and create a speaking outline for your speech. That means that you will be able to create an outline. Okay, in order to give an effective speech properly, you will need to choose the topic, the purpose. Write the thesis statement, organize and outline the speech first. The first subtopic is outlining your speech. Here we have the main subtopic, outline types. The first one is preparation outline, also called a working, practice, or rough outline. The preparation outline is used to work through the various components of your speech in an inventive format. That means that you have to be creative, how to form and create your outline. The second one is speaking outline. You will prepare for use when delivering the speech. It is much more concise than the preparation outline. It includes brief phrases or words that remind the speaker of the main points they need to make, plus supporting material and signposts. We have the second subtopic, parts of an outline. As you studied previously, when you write something, when you write a composition, you have to organize your ideas. You need to put them in an outline to write a composition. Similar, it's when you want to give a speech. You have to organize and prepare an outline. And these are the main parts of the outline. There is a topic and the title of the topic. We have the specific purpose statement, which expresses both the topic and the general speech purpose in action form or objective form. Then we have the thesis statement. It should include the topic and the main ideas and reflect the general purpose of your speech. Once you have the purpose of your speech, then you can create the thesis statement because that is what you are going to say about the topic. Of course, that you have to connect these ideas, sub-ideas, with transitional statements. They are used to alert that you are moving from one point to another. So this is like a linking, transition things. Let's take a look at the introduction part first. What is this about? It gets the attention of the audience, establishes goodwill with the audience, states the purpose of the speech, and previews the speech and its structure. So you give like a preview, you give an introduction, something that the reader or speaker will get into. Then the body, where you develop your main points and subpoints in detail. Here you can have 2, 3, or 4 main points and subtopics and subpoints, and you provide examples, illustrations, statistics, etc. to support, to back up what you say. And the last part is the conclusion. It prepares the audience for the end of the speech, presents any final appeals, and summarizes the speech. What is an outline structure? An outline is to arrange all elements of your speech, and it has an organization in a common format. So this is just ideas to follow. There is not like fixed of magic formula. These are some samples, some ideas. So you can create your own structure as well. But you have to respect and try to use the most common elements in that structure. Okay, so the outline structure, as you can see, we have formats, we have patterns. In the body, mainly, you will find the main points. So these are main ideas. And these are preceded by Roman numerals. If you can see, the second and the first. And you can have 3 main points, as many as you want. And then you can see the subpoints preceded by capital letters, A, B, C. Then you can have numbers as well, supporting points. And also you can have letters, A, B, C, for given example. So this is just an example. You can have your own, but try to follow this one. Here is a complete example. Don't get panicked, okay? This is just an example. So this image is just to give an idea how it looks like. So when you write and you finish your outline, it will be like this. So you will have a title. In this case, you have organizing your public speech. You have a specific topic. It's organizing public speeches. Then you have a very specific purpose statement to inform listeners about the various ways in which they can organize their public speeches. And of course, a thesis statement, your opinion. A variety of organizational styles can be used to organize public speeches. As you can see, you have to write in your speaking outline an introduction. It will be a paragraph that gets the attention of the audience. Remember that it has to include the purpose of the speech as well. Then you have the body. The body is composed of different main points, main ideas. In this example, we have only 2 main points. And we have 3 subtopics, and we have 2 supporting points. Of course, that you need a transitional words, expressions, to move from one to another. Here, it follows a second main point, and we can subdivide in subpoints, supporting point, and even example. When you finish developing your main points, then you can go over a transition that you're moving from the body to the conclusion. Then you have a conclusion, a paragraph that prepares the audience for the end of the speech. And at the end, which bibliography you consulted? What sources do you consult? What is your main source of that speech? Here we have another sample of an outline formatting guide. But here it's with emphasis on each detail. Now you can see the title, the topic, the specific purpose statement that you can read, the thesis statement as well, the introduction, and then the transition. So this is the first part of the sample. Then we move to the body. You have the body. You have to write main points, 1, 2, or 3, depends on you. You need to write sub-points, 1, 2, or 3. And if you have supporting points, 1, 2. Move to a transition to continue with the second main point. Give a sub-point, supporting point, and even you can include examples, supporting points, and another sub-point. Then you have to move from the body to the conclusion. Then you have a conclusion where you explain in other words, your introduction, the thesis statement, better say. And at the end, what sources do you use? So this is what it looked like. Here is an speaking outline example. What is this speaking outline? It is a brief outline that contains memory-enhancing cues and notes for the speaker. This is just one example of how you could do your speaking outline. You can use larger fonts, letter size, to visualize better. But in this case, because this is a sample, we have small letters. Here you can see the introduction. You have an opening of a speech. You have the thesis statement. You have the attention getter. You have a transition. And then, once you finish the introduction, then you have the body. When you present a topic, mainly you use visuals because visuals can help you, people, to visualize, to get a better idea of your main points, arguments, opinions, etc. In that body, you can have the bulk of the speech. You can have the sub-top points, the mini transition between each section of the body. There are some delivery cues. You have subpoints, you have a mini transition, and you have main points, 1 and 2. Then you have a transition, a conclusion, which is a summary, where you restate the thesis statement, and you have the closing of your speech. And at the end, what sources do you consult? Better say. So this is what it looks like. So when you are assigned to make and write an outline, this is what it looks like. So be ready to prepare your own speaking outline for a specific topic. Now let's move on the following. This is a full sentence outline. I know that it's too large. There are many words and sentences to be presented in a slide, but this is just for pedagogical reasons. So here we have, so you can read it, okay? And you will have it as well in your core material as well, uploaded. This is the title, For Fish, Climate Work by and for Fishers. You have a specific purpose that you can read carefully. Then there is a thesis statement. What is if you're going to convince, appeal, persuade, what is the topic of that? And of course, if you use visual aids, what kind of visual aids? Posters, PowerPoint presentations, slideshows, etc. So it depends on you. Or you would like to have an object, a prompt, realia, I don't know. Then you have the introduction. You have to write the introduction. But something that you have to keep in mind is the introduction is the last part that you have to write. You have to write the thesis statement, the specific purpose, the body, main points, subpoints, and at the end, when you already have finished this, then you can write an introduction and a conclusion as well. We will talk about these two elements later on in the following classes. But now, let's see that you have to write an introduction as nice as possible. And probably you can even memorize it word by word and express it to the audience because they are important elements in the introduction. Then you have the body, where you have the main points. Number one, climate change is not a recent invention of a federal, etc. And then you have this A, B, C, D elements, as you study now. And then you have a summary, in short. Then you have a preview. Next, let's look at how climate change may be affecting trout fisheries, etc. So this is just to move to another. Then you have the second subtopic, or main point, better say. And you have the subtopics, or subpoints, A, B, and C. And you have a subdivision, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then you have a summary. Then you have a preview. Next, I will discuss some ways that individuals, blah, blah, blah. So you are preparing transition from one to another topic. Main idea number 3, with the subtopics A, B, and subdivisions, 1, 2, 3. B, we have 1 and 2 subtopics. And then we have A, B, C. And the last part is the conclusion. Then you have to write a clear conclusion because it summarizes your introduction, your thesis statement, the purpose of your speech. Now you can see how a complete speaking outline looks like. So these are the ones that probably you're going to use as a sample, as a basis, as a model. So I invite you to read it carefully, study, analyze, and if you have any question, do not doubt to express your doubts. Thank you so much for your attention. We'll see you next.